Okay. Dumb football questions here. You can always submit your dumb football questions in the O-Line Committee YouTube channel comment section. And if you haven't already, click the like button and the subscribe button on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. Help us grow this thing. Apple and Spotify, too, for the audio audience. A 5-star rating and a positive review goes a long ways to help us grow the show with the season coming up. So, okay, dumb football questions. Let's go with... This is a good one for cut day. Michael Endicott. What are the top reasons why players don't last on the originally drafted team, like the team that drafted them? And let's say, like, I mean, if it's a 7th round pick, sometimes it's just a roster crunch and you're not good enough. But what are the top reasons why talented young players don't stick on the teams that drafted them?
You know, I think honestly, one of the biggest things for me is that they can't figure it out offensively, and we talk about this a lot to a lot of our young players.
The mental game.
Like these kids now they're so athletic. They're so much more athletic than we ever were. Their biggest problem is they can't put one foot in front of the other while they're thinking. And in a lot of football is like you have to be mastered past the point of thinking that it just becomes a reaction. And like I don't need to be told 12 times who the new mic is. Like the minute it's said, even in the background, it could be like, hey, new mic 12. Instantly my brain goes 12 is my new target. Like guys can't get with that as fast as they used to be able to because offenses in college have fucked them. And I've said this to college kids and college coaches, and I get it. Whoever's drawing these plays up is trying to keep it simple so that everybody can learn. I got that. But the minute you step into our world, it's like, no, dude, that word that you're saying actually means something. So every time you say it, my brain gets hit a different way. So stop saying it or figure out the new code. Like, there's so much you have to learn. And we were just talking to somebody's dad, and we were talking about how, like, when you go play for Dayball, you're going to have to know 450 words like that. When you go play for G-Row, it's the same thing. There's 400 code words. You have to know them. If you don't know all 400, you're not on my team. That's just how the coaches look at it. They go, well, you're just clearly not smart enough to figure it out, which means you don't care, which means you're lazy, which means why would I want you? Like, they just keep going down these rabbit holes, and no matter how good you are, no matter how fucking talented you are, no matter how athletic you are, there's someone with a little bit less talent that gets it. He goes, yeah, I get that's a Lucky. That's a Ricky. This is why this is. Like, I get the new mics. And they start making faster calls. And they can process faster. And it's just the way it is. And that's one of the biggest things for me as to why young guys don't make it, even on their own team.
Yeah, I think another reason is if you're drafted, sometimes you get this feeling that you're safe. Right? Like, you get this feeling that, like, oh, they drafted me. They want me for my 4-year contract. Right? If you're not drafted in the first, second, or third round, there ain't nothing guaranteed for 4 years. You're usually pretty safe for the first year, right? You're usually like, okay, they drafted you in the 4th or the 5th. Like, they invested a decent signing bonus. Like, you're probably going to make active for the first year. But so many times guys come back for that second year. And if you didn't put the work in, if you didn't do everything that you needed to do, and you walked in here thinking you were safe, and then you think you can just turn it on when, like, OTAs and training camp comes along, and all of a sudden someone who has outworked you is now performing better than you, they don't give a shit that you were drafted the year before. Like, they could care less. And so all of a sudden you're playing catch up, and then you're finding yourself in 4th, 5th on the depth chart, and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And then the next thing you know, they're asking you to bring your iPad in today. Right? Like, that happens quite often versus an undrafted free agent never feels that way. I never once felt safe in my entire career, even in 2017. When they looked at me and they said, you're not playing in the 4th preseason game. I was like, is that because you're trying to make sure I don't get hurt so you can cut me and I'm not injured? Right? Like, that's where my brain went. And they're like, no, stupid. It's because we want you on the team. I was like, I don't believe you. Yeah. Right? But there's so many times that you see guys that come in that were like 4th, 5th round picks that they just like, oh yeah, I'm good. And all of a sudden they get cut and you're like, oh, well, they didn't put the work in. Right? Like, that happens a lot. I think that the safety factor and the comfortability factor, the second you get comfortable in the NFL, you're going to get shown the door.
And honestly, to Jay's point, year 1 to year 2 is a bigger transition. Like, the team expects you to take a bigger step.
Yes.
And if you don't take that step, you're gone. Like,
yes.
And I'll say this, I'm not even going to say third rounders anymore. First and second rounders are fine the first year. You're going to make it no matter what. Third rounders could get fucking traded. You could get cut. At some point, they don't fucking care anymore. Like, when I came in, if you were drafted, you're good. Now it's like slowly every year a round goes down, and it's like, well, maybe we don't fucking need this guy. We fucked up. Big deal. Like instantly I was like, holy shit. But even now, so from year 1 to year 2, they're looking at these guys and they're going, what steps did he take? What did he change about his game? Is he bigger? Is he faster? Is he stronger? Is he smarter? If he's not any of those things,
if you stay the same from year 1
you're
to
fucking
year 2,
cut. You're
done.
cut. You're never
done.
Browns just cut. Who was that third-round defensive tackle
I
from
told you.
2023?
Yeah.
From like LSU, and
Yep.
he was like
They don't
a
give a
mid
shit.
third-round pick, 320-pound dude. They just cut him going into year 2.
and you know what goes
Titans
against them?
just cut a first rounder from 2021.
You know what goes against them is when you get an undrafted guy that shows up and balls the fuck out. And instantly that guy who feels like he's got a chip on his shoulder is kind of like, I'm not comfortable. I have to keep going. Like, that's kind of like the fairness in all this. Now they're starting to be like, well, shit, this guy was drafted later. He's costing less, doing more. Oh, we're not stupid. We're not going to wait around for this fucking third rounder to figure it out. Get rid of him. We'll keep the younger guy. Like, instantly.
What was the Vikings O-lineman from Ohio State?
Who?
From where? What?
Ohio
like,
State. He was a third rounder. They cut him like in his second year. Wyatt something?
Oh, Wyatt Davis?
Wyatt Davis.
He just got cut again. I just saw he got cut again.
He was a third rounder, right?
Yeah.
And they cut him his second year?
Year 2?
Yeah.
Year 2, right? I mean, it's just one of those things. The NFL going into year 2 does not care where you were drafted. They do not care. And if you walk into there thinking I was drafted and I kind of just did shit all this offseason and hung out because I finally got an offseason, I got some money in my pocket, like life's grand and good, and you show up not ready to roll, they will show you the door so fast.
Here's your hat.
All right,
What's your hurry?
This one's from Refill One, and yes, I know that we didn't get to MVPs, but that's why we have a part 3 and a part 4 maybe next week.
We got lots of time.
Season preview stuff, so we will do MVPs. Refill One says, do players hate having to talk about rookies during press conferences or media scrums? I hear veteran players being asked multiple questions about rookies sometimes during their press conferences, and sometimes to me it looks like veteran players are put off by it. So you guys are crusty old veterans being asked about rookies. Is that annoying for you?
Depends on the rookie. If he's a good rookie and he's doing everything right, and you as a veteran feel secure in your spot, then no. I don't think veterans have a lot of problem being like, I know he's doing a great job. But if you're battling said rookie for a roster spot or for a starting spot, right? They draft a first round running back and you're the 4th year running back, right? And you're on a contract year and you want to be the starter and you're fighting the first round and they're asking like, hey, how good's this young kid? We're hearing all this great stuff about him. Like, the last thing you want to do is pump that dude up. You don't want to be like, he's going to be a great player, because you're just signing your death certificate, right? So I think
then the news cycle,
and then the news cycle goes.
And
so I think there's a fine line of being a good teammate, and also I don't need to put nails in my own coffin.
Yeah, Boone, were you ever asked about?
No, I wasn't really asked about rookies.
No, okay.
I think everybody knew I didn't really want to talk about them. It didn't bother me. I think for to be a rookie, I didn't. It was more like if somebody asked. I think somebody asked me initially about Laquan Treadwell when I was here, and I was like, "Give a shit." Fucking receiver, like he just got here today. Who cares? And they were like, "Oh, are you excited?" And I was like, "He hasn't done anything. Like, what the hell is there to be excited about?" Turned out that was a flop.
Yeah, Laquantosaurus Rex. What was the other nickname for him? Megaquan.
Dude,
I think was the other one.
Hey, I remember one time, Jay, you might have been on the field with me. We were at a practice, and it was like a training camp, and the ball like zinged right over my head, went right off of his hands, and it was a third down. And I think we all just, instead of like saying anything, we all just turned around and walked away. And we're like, well, that sucks. We lost that 2 minute. I'm not even kidding you. It hit him square in the fucking hands, and he dropped it. I remember going, well, we're fucked. A receiver the first round that can't catch a ball. Like, that's where it starts.
I just remember him saying, and I don't want to shit all over this kid. I just remember him saying, like, I was first rounder. I don't play special teams. Like, I remember vividly him saying that, and I was like, yeah, this kid.
Yeah, you're not gonna last.
This is gonna be a tough
work
year.
This
is gonna be a tough.
Do you not know our GM Rick Spielman's a psycho? You'll do what he fucking says you'll do. Like, know your audience.
You ever met Mike Prefer?
Have you met Mike Zimmer? Have you met him?
Mike Prefer will kill you. And you'll never find the body.
Hey.
He was
Mike
he was a helicopter pilot.
He was a
blast you
lieutenant
into the
in the
sun
Navy.
and nuke it.
Yeah,
dude.
He
Prefer
was not to be trifled with.
He is still my favorite. One of my favorite coaches.
Dude. I'll never forget when I showed up. I got traded week 1 to the Vikes, and I was going to be on field goal that week. And so like I went in, met with Prefer. Like he was phenomenal. He was great. He was calm. He was like, I was like, oh, this dude's really cool. First game day, dude's walking up and down the sideline, talking shit to the 49ers kicker at the kickoff. Like, you're going to put it out of bounds, pussy. Like, and I was like, who is this guy, dude? Like, we ran a fake punt. We won a fake punt one time, and it didn't work. And, like, Anthony Barr said something to Prefer, and I thought Prefer was going to scalp him on the sideline. Like, people were holding him back. He's like, don't you ever. He's, like, jumping over. I was like, this dude is awesome. I loved Mike Prefer.
He was, without a doubt. By the way,
man.
Cleveland guy. You got to know he's from Cleveland. Fucking love him. He is my favorite. He actually coaches in Cleveland still, I think.
Yep.
And
Prefer's the man.
I remember that.
Is he still a special teams coordinator?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I first got to the Vikings, everyone was like, "All right, listen, everyone here is really cool. This guy's kind of an asshole." They're like, "But Prefer, don't talk to him on game day." I go, "What?" I'm like, that guy right there. He came over and introduced me to his family. He's like, "Oh, Booney, I'm from Cleveland too. Such a great job to have a Cleveland guy here." And I was like, that guy. They're like, "You just wait." And I think that my first moment was when he tried to headbutt me on the sideline. Something happened on kickoff return. It was drilled back down late, and he like grabbed my face mask and poof. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And he was like, fucking KOR, come here. And I was like, oh, this guy's hot. I'm not going near him.
He was nuts.
Blood running down his face, dude.
I love him. And when he got that job for that Thursday night game, I swear to God, I don't think any of us played any harder because
dude, I wanted to win for him so
we
bad.
wanted to win that game so bad for him. We loved
interim.
him as a dude. He was just a great guy. Great guy.
The Preef monster.
Mike, I love you.
I don't know where this one's going to go. This might lead to a great story, or you might just shrug and shoot it down.
I gotta go.
Now it's
phone's
a great story.
ringing. Agent stuff happening.
Don't say it.
Well, it's for Jay, so I'll save this one for next week. How about this one, Booney? Last one for you.
Yep.
From Sensitized. I have a question about the recruiting process. I'm a high school right guard. I play for a 1A small 1A school in high school. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm really good, will I get overlooked even if I do reach out to colleges because I play for a small 1A high school?
What state?
He didn't say what state.
Boy, I don't know. That's a good question. Recruiting is so different now. And you hear these coaches, like when I went to college, we were recruited 30 kids to a class, right? Now they're saying they're barely recruiting 5 because they're trying to go to junior colleges and they're trying to find all these transfers and they're trying to do, like, this whole thing has become a fucking mess, dude. Like, just bad. And it's bad because you're losing high school kids that are going to college to play football right away. And instead it's like, we're just going to keep moving kids all around the country. And it's like, that's not really fun anymore. And I think when it comes to, like, when you email somebody, like if you were to email a recruiter from Ohio State and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so, I play at a 1A school, instantly they're going to be like, right? They might watch the film, but at the same time, they're going to be like, could this kid play at a 5A school? And honestly, the one thing that makes up the difference with everything is coaching. When you go to these 5A schools, like I went to a 5A school, the coaches are fucking hardcore, man. Like they've just been doing it for 30, 40 years. They understand. My high school coach was John Gibbons. He's a fucking legend. Like one of the toughest dudes to ever wear shoes. Coach Joe Jervicius, Coach LaCharles Bentley, like coach guys that played significant careers in the NFL that would always come back and be like, this guy was a fucking bad at. Like all this shit was crazy. And honestly, it's so hard to explain because when we would
You'd
play,
have to like get to a camp or something and meet
would,
some of
but
these
even
coaches,
then,
right?
you got to dominate because whatever's behind you is what they see, right? Like it's one of these like 1A. I know there's 6A in that state. What's he playing against? Could he dominate? I think if you send the film, they'll watch it. But, I mean, even before we get into all that, recruiting's not even the same anymore. Like, I've heard Dion be like, I'm not getting high school kids. I'm going after transfers. I'm going after that. And it's like, where are all the high school kids going then? Are they all having to go to JUCO now? Are they all having to wait? Are they enrolling in school as walk-ons? Like, this whole thing, in my opinion, has become a fucking mess. And it used to be really simple, and now it's not. And I feel bad for kids like that. We talked
I'll tell
about
you, man, I would not want to be, and it's trickling into high school, but a college coach, man, like you think you got your roster set, and then now 20 dudes turn over because you had a bad year or you yelled at somebody,
right?
Or
I didn't feel the love,
or
there's no more money left, or whatever. Like, dude. It's becoming too much, honestly. And I know everyone's like, no, it's part of the game and you got to let these kids grow. But it's like you took away one of the most basic principles of school was to get these kids an education. Like, looking back, Coach Tress would always say this to us. He'd be like, listen, 5 of you are going to go play in the NFL. Of this team, 5 of you will make it into the NFL next year. The rest of you will need normal jobs. The rest of you will go on to work a normal life, and it is what it is. Don't be mad. You have a free education. But now I feel like it's not even about an education anymore, and it makes you wonder. And this is like the advanced part of football that I've always been into, because I get all the sub things, and I get why people do what they do in the NFL and how the colleges work. But when you're sitting there and you start to like go down these rabbit holes, you're like, are we really doing any good for these kids? We're bringing hundreds of kids in every year to play football, and at the end of the day, are they graduating? And after that, what are they doing after that? We're paying them a fortune. Are we even watching classes anymore? I mean, classes are all online now. And it's like, dude, there was a time when college was a betterment for you to either go to the NFL or get a free degree to go get a job. And I'm not saying that you need a degree for every job, but at some point it's going to come back around where people are like, yeah, no, we need a validation. We're going to need these college credentials again. And I just feel like the NCAA has really fucked it up and made it more about money and less about a degree and education. And it's like, I don't know. It's fucked up.
Yeah, dude, it's tough because like your best chance to become a professional football player or to make money NIL is to give your life to football between 17, 18, 19, 20, but it's not going to change the small percentage that actually make it to the NFL. So,
right. And
yeah, it's
you. And as a player, you have to think about, it's not about the 1%. It's about the 99%. Are those guys good? Are they doing okay? And I'll be honest, there's a lot of my teammates that I'm like, are you doing okay? And it's like, I wish we would have been a little more serious at times, because I think in the moment we all think we're going pro. But at the same time, at least I know that Tressel, when guys left, they had their degrees. I mean, I got a phone call. I played 10 years in the league. I got a phone call every year. Why don't you finish in that degree? I was like, coach, they want me to physically be on campus. And he's like, so you can't show up? And I was like, I'm a little busy with off-season stuff. He's like, fucking degree, dude. Get your degree. What are you, too lazy to? And I was like, I finally got it. But eventually I look back and I go, dude, he was so right. Like,
what was your major?
History. It was amazing. I was a war history major. And I had one of my teachers was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. And so he would tell me stories. And we would meet a lot and talk about different things about the war. And it was awesome because he let me write reports about it. And a lot of my teachers were in wars, so I got to go talk to them about stuff. And it was a lot of fun. But looking back, I remember being like, this is so stupid. I'm going to go pro. And I look and think about how fucking naive I was. And like, I was a broken ankle away from never playing again.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. And people are like, oh, no, you're good. And you're like, no, dumbass. Like, I get it. I'm the one that made it out, but I was also the one that started thinking, like, man, I got out by the skin of my fucking teeth. Because had I just had a fucking little ankle issue, I don't play in the NFL. And then all of a sudden, I need that degree, right? And that's why this whole college thing for me has become so unfun to watch. It really is, because these dudes are making more than my mom, and she's the fucking director of surgery at a hospital. And I'm like, you don't do
crazy.
shit. I got to talk to them, and they tell me how much they make, and I go, fucking serious? And I almost got suspended for drinking free beer, and you're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm still the criminal in this whole situation. And that's another thing. No one's ever apologized to be like, hey guys, we were really harsh on you guys. We didn't even let you get a cheeseburger. We didn't let you get beer. We're going to go pay these guys millions. Don't be mad at us. We still think of you as criminals, but these guys are not. And it's like, that's such bullshit.
It is crazy, man. Like the fact that Reggie Bush went 15
fucking
years
bullshit,
without
dude.
touching his Heisman Trophy, or it's
like, who the fuck is the NCAA to do all this shit, dude? And then they come out and they label you as like a rogue team, and these guys were taking benefits. It's like, I think
cheaters.
yeah,
and,
dude, don't even get me started on what they're doing with players now. I'm like, dude, this is such baloney.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. On one hand, when there's billions and billions of dollars in revenue coming in off the backs of players I think players should get a slice, but it changes the entire dynamic. It de-emphasizes the importance of like planning for life after football.
But
like,
that was the whole point, is like, when we played, going to school to get a free degree was enough. Hey, my mom doesn't have to pay for this degree. I don't have to take a loan out to pay for this degree. Sure, I'll play some football. Oh, and in the process, I could also go play in the NFL. Boy, this sounds like a real win-win for me. Like, I just wonder, and I know there's going to be a ton of people that come at me, and I don't fucking care, because I know how everything's been played for years and years. But like, the fact that they still went so hard on all of us and called us all cheaters and like took all this, and now they're just giving millions. Like, dude, there's quarterbacks driving Lamborghini Uruses.
Dude, they shut the SMU football program down, death penalty,
I know.
like 30 years ago because was it Eric Dickerson? I mean, these dudes are driving around
Dude, how about this?
$150,000.
The Georgia fucking quarterback got a private jet. Dude, we've gone way too far. I'm sorry, but the last Georgia quarterback just threw 4 interceptions in the last 3 preseason games. I think we're going way out on a limb here.
And you've seen Caleb Williams, and all above board, obviously, because he was in the NAL era, but he's literally living in like a penthouse in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Some sort of $10 million.
I'm not even kidding you. Somebody saw me carry a case of beer out of a bar one time, and they were like, I can't wait to tell the NCAA. And I was like, this is such bullshit.
I'm telling you, man, I think I've told you this story before, but when I was hosting a talk radio show on ESPN Twin Cities, like 4-hour talk show, we'd go do shows at the Minnesota State Fair or whatever, be out and about.
Yeah.
And Rachel Bannum, who's been a longtime WNBA player now, she was the Minnesota Gophers women's basketball star player at the time. She was like a freshman, 20 points a game. Like Kobe Bryant was shouting her out on Twitter. She was this like hotshot women's basketball player. And she shows up to the state fair to be, do a live interview with us, be on stage. So she comes walking up on stage, and I toss her one of our 1,500 ESPN T-shirts for her to take. Yeah, have a free T-shirt. SID person comes up, grabs the shirt, and says, she can't take that T-shirt. That's an improper benefit. Literally a free $10 T-shirt is an improper benefit in college basketball.
It's improper because she was
offered
offered
her
that
suspended, man.
Do you know why? Because we obviously had to know why. It's an improper benefit because nobody else at the school was offered that shirt, but you were only offered it because of your ability, which I turn right around and go, I think the school should be fucking lucky that I'm here then. I think the school should do as much as they can to fucking keep me here instead of calling me a cheater and making me have to work my ass off. Like, it's insane. And the fact that America is standing behind this is almost making me nervous because I'm like, did we not see what the point of college was? Oh, we did? Okay. Just making sure. And I would love to know how paying all these players is better than what it was before.
Yeah, I mean, we should almost do this over a full episode because I'd be curious what Jay's thoughts are on it too. I keep going back to if college football is going to be whatever it is, like an $8 billion industry with these massive TV deals, then the star players that move the needle that you tune in to watch, like they should be able to make a couple bucks and change their lives because this might be the only chance they get to make like family changing money.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that's wrong. My whole point was how fast it shifted. Like one day we were cheaters, the next day it was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll pay it.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
Great. Like dude,
morally, ethically, yes.
That's my whole point. I think
it's more about like how you guys for generations were dumped on.
Yeah,
for benefiting, for tapping into this.
It's like you said, you couldn't even get a T-shirt. Dude, have you seen like the videos of the guys going through their lockers and like, oh, new locker, and they open it up and it's all this stuff? I remember going to Lewis, our equipment guy, as a senior, all American, like, hey, I need a new pair of shoes. My things are running a little low, and he'd be like, tough shit. I'd be like,
yeah,
I don't think you know who I am. I'm the left tackle. And he's like, I don't think you know who I am. I'm the guy that says no. And I was like, Lewis, what the fuck? And he was like, sorry, bud. We're not budgeted for that. And I was like, so you mean to tell me that the softball team can get a new sweatsuit every season with a new pair of shoes and a new rain jacket, and a new pair of shorts and a new fucking hat and all this shit in a backpack, and all I get is my shitty loop every day with the same fucking shorts I had from freshman year? And he was like, yeah, that's how it goes.
Correct.
Do you know why? Because football pays for fucking everything. And I was like, once again, this is just not making sense to me. I'm confused. I just need one fucking T-shirt or a pair of shorts, and you're telling me we can't do that? And he'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, man. Man, it's amazing how fast everything flipped, man.
Crazy, bro.
Well, this
you
was
ready to
part
break it
2.
Down?
Do we have time? I think we do.
You got like 5 minutes.
Actually, here's what we'll do. We're gonna say goodbye on this part 2 of this NFL season preview. We get part 3 next week, part 4, part 7. I don't know how many parts it's gonna be.
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be a lot. But we hope to do a Drake May film breakdown. If not today, sometime this week. We've got it ready to rock and roll. A lot of people wondering whether he should be starting or not week 1. We've got those
let's
answers.
do it. Let's just pull it up. We can do it real quick. Absolutely.
Okay. All
We'll do a part
Well,
3.
So we'll say goodbye here. Peace out, you guys. Thanks for supporting the O-line committee, and we'll see you on a Drake May film breakdown.